so I'm here again on my couch and I'm ready to hop into today's Ask Nikki. Hi Nikki, I am currently a senior in high school and around 225 pounds. For the past couple of months, I have been on a weight loss journey and I have lost around 25 pounds. I am very proud of myself. However, it is very hard when my family doesn't support me. My mom laughs at me when I tell her what I eat and that I would like a juicer because I want to be able to eat more fruits and vegetables. They just don't understand and they continue to eat out at least 4 times a week while I sit at home and eat healthy. My mom is very obese and I just don't know how to help them and her. I guess I'm just asking for advice on how to get across to my family that they are unhealthy and how to continue on my journey when all my mom does is laugh at me. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's the thing. I know this is like, wait, am I recording? Yeah, I am. Okay. I know this is like painful, but this is life and it's good to work on accepting this because this is just how it is. And it sounds depressing, but it's actually not that depressing, which is that a couple of things. A, you can't change anyone. You cannot. Someone has to want to change for themselves. So it doesn't really matter what you say to them because that will not be convincing enough. They are going to have to stumble across and have some kind of revelation. And the only chance of that happening, in my opinion anyways, is by seeing you leading an example and by them coming across some type of decision of like, wow, I want to do that. In fact, in my opinion, I think the chances are even slimmer if you're trying to convince them because I think it's human nature to be stubborn and to feel like, well, what makes you think that you could just decide and do it? And, you know, it's almost kind of like an opposite reaction as opposed to you just living your life and, you know, letting your family see that. And the thing is, too, when people are adults, they've gone through a long part of their life that way. The chances of them changing are not only kind of slim, but it's harder for someone to change when they've been doing something the same way their whole life. And also, just because your family doesn't get it, doesn't mean that what you're doing is wrong. Even though my family, you know, ended up being so supportive of what I was doing on YouTube, at first, at the very beginning, nobody really got it. Nobody saw like what I saw in my head. And now, I mean, they couldn't be more supportive, but at first they didn't really fully get that. And I feel like my thoughts are kind of running away from me because there was some other point that I wanted to make to you and I feel like it's slipping out of my head, probably because it's lunchtime and I need to like eat something in a second. But, oh, okay, this is not the point, but this is just another point that when you become an adult, there's something that kind of happens that like you start to see the areas in which your parents are just humans and they're flawed because we're all flawed. And it's kind of this weird feeling of like you see it, and you want to do better, but you want your parents' approval, but you might not get their approval because they're flawed in that area and they're not necessarily going to acknowledge that you're doing well in that. And I guess the point is like, don't try, I feel like I'm getting so tongue-tied, to not be afraid to make a positive change just because your parents don't acknowledge it. And, you know, getting hooked up with maybe communities online, or if there are even communities in real life, like I think like Jenny Craig, they do actual like in-person meetings and Weight Watchers with other people who are going through the same thing and encouraging each other. And if you don't want to go to those, you know, getting involved with online groups, that's a really great way to go. But yeah, I feel like this answer has been all over the map because my brain is starting to go in a million different directions. But that's basically the gist of it, is to understand that just because your parents don't support you, to stay strong and to know that like they're going through their own things. So you have to take care of yourself, do what's right for you, and to try to not be so concerned with your parents' like approval over this, because this is good, this is great that you're doing that. So keep on that path. And yeah, I'm gonna shut up now because I feel like I'm gonna start repeating the same things because like I said, for some reason my brain is going all over the place. So the personal question says, are you going to dye your eyebrows blonde too? No, I'm not. I actually like the look of blonde hair and dark eyebrows. I just think it's a really cool look, and I am going to continue to have low lights in my hair, so there will eventually, once we get the orange out, be kind of some colors in my hair that are similar to my eyebrows-ish. So at this point, the plan is to not dye my eyebrows. And then the Twitter question says, what are some of your New Year's resolutions, and how do you stick to them? just did a video on New Year's resolution with Rachel, and that's on her channel. And then I'm gonna be talking about New Year's resolutions a little bit in this upcoming week. But honestly, my New Year's resolutions, I try not to set things that are like crazy out there, and I try to make them kind of general. Like, to give you guys a little like sneak peek or whatever, one of my New Year's resolutions is to be more actively involved in like the causes that I'm passionate about, like charity. That's one of my like year like focuses. Last year, one of my focuses was to do more music, and that since I spent a year of kind of moving in that direction, that's kind of become a part of my life now. And I want charity and stuff. I don't really like that word because I feel like it sounds so like, oh, charity, but like involvement in the causes that I care about to become more like a regular part of my life. So that's one of my biggest New Year's resolutions for this year. So the way that I try to stick with it is I keep it kind of vague and I keep it kind of broad, and that's kind of like what I focus on. I personally don't like to get too super specific on New Year's resolutions because I want it to be a lifestyle thing, and I don't want it to be something that I'm just gonna fail at because it was so freaking specific and I couldn't hit it and then I feel like a failure. So everyone obviously has different ways that they operate with resolutions. Did this just stop recording? No. So I think doing whatever really works for you and your personality type is the best way to stick to your resolutions. And for me, that's what I have found works for me. So that is all. Send your messages and questions to asknikkip@gmail.com or use the hashtag AskNikkiP, and I will see you all very soon. So have a good rest of the day, guys. So I think counseling would be a great way to go. Dude, it's like amazing. It's not like a crazy person thing.